Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei Lost Everything and Went Back in Time Part 2. Before we start, please go support AndresFelipeSolanoDi for writing that awesome fanfic. Now let's begin. This is the translated version I made. There will be some wrong he or she calling here because it's translated, so let me clear this. Issei is a male in this story. Chapter 7. Death appears. A beautiful and peaceful night was happening in the city of Kuo. Everything was very quiet, but in Issei's room he was moving agitatedly. Apparently he had nightmares. In Issei's dream, Issei. The food is delicious. Rias. It's true smiles. Akeno. They both look very happy today. In fact, with the passing of the days I have noticed both of them becoming happier and happier. Rias. Why wouldn't we be happy? We finally have peace, and in just 2 days is my wedding with Issei. Issei. Geez, you embarrass me. Akeno. Smiles, you're right, there are many things we can be happy about. Issei. Seriously, they're both very excited. Rias. Of course, besides that there are only 2 months left until he is born. Rias would put her hand on her belly, apparently she was pregnant. Issei. In 2 days is our wedding and in 2 months he will be born. These are the best moments of my life. Rias. You're right. But at that moment Issei's dream would turn dark. He was no longer with Rias and Akeno, he was alone surrounded by a mist. Immediately the screams of demon soldiers could be heard everywhere. Issei. Akeno, Rias, where are they? Issei screamed loudly in the middle of that fog, but when a little of the fog cleared, he showed Issei a horrible scene. Death. I could use the gems to kill them all right away, but I want to take my time. When they have no more hope, there I will finish them all, so for now I will kill them one by one. Rias. Issei. I'm sorry. Issei. Laughs. Death. You were a persistent woman until the end. Issei. No. What Issei saw was death piercing Ria's belly. He had murdered Rias along with his unborn child. Tears of blood came out of Issei's eyes. He did not stop screaming until a voice came out. I'm listening. Akeno. Issei. Are you here? Issei. Akeno. He turned to look at Akeno, but the only thing he could see was Akeno's heartless body. Akeno. Yes, you came. Those words broke Issei. His mind was wrapped in madness, and he immediately woke up in his room. Issei. Wakes up agitatedly. Hey, Dreg. Mate. Issei. Dreg. Right. I had just laid down to go to sleep. Forgive me for alerting you. It was a nightmare. Albion. Nightmares about death, true. Issei. Yes. Even after returning to the past. The nightmares of those events still haunt me. Dreg. They are not dead yet. Issei. Issei. I know. But. That doesn't change what happened. The days continued to pass peacefully after that. In the occult club, all the club members were looking very seriously at the papers that had come to them. Rias. After the faction meeting the peace was signed successfully, however now all the factions are looking for information about Mr. Mystery. Asara. Currently there are few who know her true identity. Tiba. These papers are requests to provide information about the Rias. It's normal that they think we have a relationship with him. After all, he showed up to help me cancel my engagement with Riser. He helped us defeat Kakabiel and stopped White at the faction meeting. Asara. All his actions have been beneficial for us. It is clear that this was going to happen. Rias. Yes, that's true. However, we can't provide information about Issei. They know it's true. Tiba. Yes, the debt we have with Issei is very large. Rias. For now we will only answer that we know nothing about him. Asara. They will believe that. Rias. Of course not, but they can't force us to say anything about him either. Asara. That's true. Rias. In any case, the number of mysteries surrounding Issei are too many, to the point that not even the top officials of the underworld could find out anything about him. Asara. Hey. Wait for the senior officials, but since when is Issei being investigated? Rias. I asked my brother for help right after the events at the parent meeting, however I was surprised that he didn't get anything either. Asara. Not even the Demon King could get information from Issei. Rias. This is his civil record and this is his student record, Sona gave it to me to investigate. At that point everyone approached Ria's desk to see the records, and they were surprised at what they saw. Akeno. This is it. Haneko. Without parents. Orphan. Asara. But once I heard him talking about his parents with his friends, he said that they spent their time traveling. Rias. I know, but the records don't lie. Akeno. Because he would lie saying that he has parents when he doesn't. Kiba. Not only is that, look, there is nothing about his childhood, it also doesn't say where he studied before entering the Kuo Academy. Asia. Wait, Kiba. Look at the place of birth. Kiba. Impossible. The city of Kuo. Asara. But he clearly said that it was his first time here. It is also something I can confirm, since he had never seen it in the city. Rias. I was also surprised when I read it. Kiba. Not only lies about his parents but also about his birthplace. Asia. His last name is not there. It's just Issei. Rias. He said that he couldn't tell us his full name, so it's normal that he's not in the record. Asara. How could someone with this data enter the academy? Asia. Look down Asara. Asara. Shocked this is. Hiba. It's an incredible donation of money to the academy. Riaz. Sona and I believe that this is how he was able to enter the academy. Asara. However, he works in a cafeteria. Hiba. He probably does it to confuse people. Asara. The academy seriously let him in just with that. Riaz. It's normal, this is the human world, with money you can do many things here. Hiba. That's true. It's even normal for the government to go unnoticed. Riaz. Considering that Issei is part of the supernatural world, even the government wouldn't know how to deal with him, they would have to call the factions, but Issei is not someone who is easy to control. We can say that it is fortunate that the government does not involve. Asara. Riaz, you have gotten information about that gem that I saw from Issei. Riaz. No, I sent your report to my brother, and he says that he can't find any information regarding that. Asara. Geez. Riaz. That gem is so important. Asara. When I arrived and saw her, I felt that everything that happened that day was because of that gem. It caused me a feeling of terror. Riaz. You felt a great force. Asara. Yes, I felt like I was in the presence of something very powerful, and for Issei, it seemed to be something very important. Riaz. If what you say is true, then we should investigate further into what that object is, but it is currently in Issei's possession, so I don't think it is possible. Asara. I fear so. At that moment a magic circle was activated, revealing that he was carrying a letter. Riaz. What is this? It has the Gremory seal. Akeno. A letter from your family. Riaz. Normally they don't send them to me this way. Asara. What does it say? Riaz would open the letter calmly, and upon reading it, she would be shocked by its content. Riaz. Someone attacks the capital of the underworld. My brother is fighting with him, but he can't cope. Akeno. What? Riaz. The number of injured civilians is in the thousands. Asara. How is it possible? There really is someone who Surziches can't stand up to. Riaz. It's not just that. Many high-class demons are supporting my brother, but they are nothing to the enemy. Asara. And who is the enemy? Is it perhaps the Cows Brigade? At that time Issei would arrive to visit the club members. Riaz. No, she is a person. He says his name is Death. Asara. How come a single person is doing something like that in the underworld? Issei. What did you say? Riaz. Hey. Everyone looked towards the door. They had not noticed that Issei had arrived because they were immersed in the information in the letter. Immediately Issei's eyes shone with intensity, showing great power. The person who took everything from him had appeared. At that moment a smile emerges from his mouth. Issei. After so long you finally appear. At that moment he left the club room. Everyone tried to follow him, but it was useless. He had already left. Riaz. Where did he go? Asara. What did you mean by you finally appear? Kaneko. Maybe it is. Riaz. What's wrong, Kaneko? Kaneko. Is the person Issei was looking for. Flashback. Kaneko. So what is your goal? Issei. I must stop someone. They are planning to do something horrible, and for that I am here, but I can't say more because it is a thing of my past. End of flashback. Asara. That's who Issei wants to stop. Riaz. We don't know what can trigger this event. We have to go quickly to the underworld, and we also need to help the civilians. Akeno. We must use a magic circle. It will be the fastest way to get there. Riaz. Good idea, Akeno. In the underworld, Death was fighting against Azazel. Apparently he had given Surziches time to retreat. On the other hand, Azazel was on his last legs. His entire body was bleeding. Death. You are finished. Azazel. It seems like I'll die here. Just when Death was going to finish off Azazel, a flash of white light appeared and Death stopped. Vali. I see that it arrived on time. Azazel. Vali. What are you doing here? Vali. I heard about this and came to help. Azazel. I appreciate your help, but you are a criminal wanted by the factions, and I don't think you can beat that guy. Vali. I know. I never said that I will be the one to fight with him. Azazel. What? So what are you planning to do? Vali. You'll see. Death. Any plan with me is useless. At that Surziches would appear behind Death with his fist wrapped in the power of destruction, but Death simply dodged it with ease. Azazel. Idiot, what are you doing here? I thought I gave you time to leave. Surziches. Azazel, how could my pride allow me to leave and abandon you here to die? Death. That feeling of camaraderie is pathetic, but at that moment attacks appeared in all directions towards Death, however he just moved his hand and they disappeared. Riaz. Brother. Surziches. Laughs. Asara. Fortunately Ria's father sent us a letter explaining the situation. The entire Ria's clan stood in front of Surziches and Azazel. They were prepared to battle. Asara. By the way, we have evacuated all the civilians so we can fight without holding back. Death. Without holding back. Ha. Don't make me laugh, you can't face me. Ali. Tell me something, Death. Why did you attack the factions? Death. Do you mean in the future or now in the present? Ali. How do you know about it? Of course you have the gems. At that everyone looked at his hand, the gems had stuck to his skin. Asara. They are the same as the gem that Issei had. Death. So he has a gem. That's great. When I kill him I can take it from him. Ali. You think you'll win? Death. Of course that's why I'm attacking the underworld to attract it. Ali. Then you won't have to wait anymore. Death. What? At that moment Issei appeared in front of Death. He threw a big fist at Death's face, however he stopped it easily. After that Issei retreated 20 steps away from him. Issei. Hello Death. Death. You have finally arrived, Hyodo Issei. But those words everyone had been shocked. Asara. Hey. Riaz. What did he say? Ikeno. Hyodo. But that's the last name of Death. Yes. That's you, Hyodo Issei, the hero of the factions. Asara. Wait, because your last name is Hyodo. Death. Because he is Hyodo Issei, your brother. Death's words left everyone more confused as well as shocked. Riaz. That's not possible. Ikeno. That's it. Asara. My brother. But how? Issei's energy began to rise, and everyone was terrified by such power. This time Issei would go with all his power. Issei. Okay, you have that. Ali. Yes. Thanks to Kuroka it didn't take long to manufacture. However, the manufacturing was too fast. I don't know how long that artificial. Issei. Don't worry, I'll try to go with everything from the beginning to finish quickly. Ali. Okay. At that moment a dark sphere is taken out of Ali's pocket. He would immediately throw it, trapping Issei and Death inside. The others watched as the two had disappeared, however a holographic screen appeared in front of them. Riaz. What is that? Ali. An artificial dimension. It is thousands of times stronger than any barrier, and there they will be able to fight without holding back. But Issei and Death. Issei. You didn't resist. Death. Because I would do it if I was looking for this from the beginning. Issei. I see that you already know everything about the future, and I see that you have 4 gems in your possession. Death. When I kill you, I will have 5. At that moment the 4 gems would shine and Death's body would begin to transform. Issei. You look horrible. Death. Prepare to die, Hyodo Issei. Issei. Certainly that power is on another level. However, before returning to the past I took a lot of time to train. Flashback. The mountains were destroyed and reduced to dust. There were craters all over the ground. Issei could be seen exhaling agitatedly, and next to him was the Great Red One, the Dragon of Dragons, the DXD. DXD. That form you acquired is powerful. Issei. I know. Even I can say it's dangerous. DXD. Normally when you have gotten stronger you have acquired new armor, but with this, there will be no such need anymore. Issei. Why? DXD. The strength you can exert depends on your own limits, and when you get stronger, the more power you can exert in that way. Issei. It's incredible. DXD. But I advise you that unless the enemy matches you, do not use it. That form could destroy everything around it. Issei. I understand, I will only use it if necessary. End of flashback. At that moment the artificial dimension began to tremble. Outside everyone felt Issei's power rise. The energy that was felt seemed to have no limit. Immediately a chant was heard from Issei. I am the one who wakes up. I am the one who carries the 2 celestial dragons. I move forward without hesitation. I never go back. I protect the infinite. I take care of the dreams. I will bring a path full of hope. I will show you a bright future. I will protect the people I love and punish those who dare to hurt them. Balance breaker mode, dual celestial dragon. At that moment Death admired the form that Issei had acquired. Everyone outside also admired her. That way was dangerous. Ali. But what the hell were you doing in the future when we died? Issei. But Issei and Death. Issei. I hope you're ready, Death, because I'm not going to hold back. Chapter 8. Battle for the future. The tension was noticeable in the atmosphere. Everyone was paying attention to the fight between Issei and Death, since they did not know how this fight will end. Asara. Neither of them have moved. Ali. Both of them are taking their time to analyze the opponent. Azazel. The two have acquired forms that allow them to fully use their powers. It is normal that they are observing each other in detail before fighting. Riaz. Wait, I think that Death guy is moving. But Issei and Death. At that moment Death appeared in front of Issei and raised his fist and then lowered it forcefully with the intention of testing Issei's strength. The sound wave was heard throughout the artificial dimension when the blow hit, however Issei's left hand received and stopped the blow without problem. Death. Well, now we can begin. Issei. Yes, let's begin. The combat between the two began with an exchange of blows. The force of the blows that both generated were breaking the artificial dimension. Issei used the sword that he had summoned with his new armor and sliced off Death's arm. However, it quickly regenerated. Death. Why don't you try to cut off my arm where I have the gems? Issei. Because I won't fall into such an obvious trap. You must surely have something up your sleeve if he cut off that arm. Death. You are very smart. Shock, 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 shock. Their power level was equal, however Issei knew that as long as Death had those gems the distance between them would widen enormously, so it was only a matter of time before Death surpassed his power. Therefore this fight had to be ended as quickly as possible. He began by hitting her in the mouth that broke her teeth, followed by that he broke her bones, and finally stabbed her in the heart. However, this was useless, he regenerated from those damages easily. Issei. I will have to choose other options. Death. Die. Death threw an energy beam at Issei, but he responded with another attack. Issei. Flame. Both attacks collided, generating a large and enormous explosion of fire. Issei. I have to be more careful. He has infinite energy and I don't. Death. It's incredible that you can withstand my power, I guess for now we are even. Issei. I want to ask you something. Death. What is it? Issei. Because you seek to extinguish life. Death. Ha. What's that about now? You were looking to get revenge on me for taking everything from you, your only goal should be to kill me. Issei. It should be like that. But I promised Shadow that I would try to save you. Shock. After saying those words Death would have approached at great speed to hit Issei, but he stopped him. Death. You damn, with what right do you think you can save me? Issei. I don't know, I'm just going to try. Death. Damn. Shock. Shock. The exchange of blows at high speed would resume. Issei. What happened to you? Shadow said that you smiled before, that you were a good person. Shock. Death. It was all the world's fault, it was all the fault of supernatural beings, I lost everything because of him. Issei. What do you mean? Bang. The blow to Death's face would be given by Issei. Death. The supernatural world took my family away from me. Issei. Shock that. Bang. Death would have hit Issei in the stomach. Death. I and my wife lived peacefully in a village, we were magicians who helped injured people, in that place there were shadows and vortexes, they were our friends, they protected us from any danger, we had the goal of making the world beautiful, make it a better place, but I was a fool to think that. Death quickly created an energy blade with the intention of stabbing Issei, but Issei blocked it with his sword. Issei. Why? Death. It was shortly after my wife gave birth to our fourth child. I was out looking for a gift for the baby. Then a nearby conflict between angels and demons took place without my knowledge. When I arrived the only thing I could see was our home on fire with the charred body of my wife holding our dead baby. Shock. After saying those words Death would increase the speed of his attacks. Issei. Dragon God cut. Issei's sword went straight to Death's neck with that attack, however he blocked it with his arm. Death. Shadow and Vortex had also left that day, so there was no security at all. As for our 3 remaining children, I found my 2 daughters later pierced with white spears of light. I think that when they escaped the disaster at home, they accidentally drove to the center of the combat zone instead of moving away. I guess they were very scared and confused, after all they were just girls. My last son the Baron didn't even let me see his body. Issei. What do you mean? Death. At first I thought he escaped and I looked for him tirelessly, but then I realized that he was no longer in this world, you know what that means right? Issei. He died in the middle of the battle, and there should have been no trace of his body. Death. Exactly. My wife and I wanted peace. What a big mistake. There can be no peace as long as there is some form of intelligent life on this planet. Shock. That shot Issei a beam of energy that Issei took head on. The power of this beam was so absurd that it cracked the entire artificial dimension. His power almost surpassed Issei's current power. Issei. Spits blood. This armor exerts great pressure on my body, added to its continuous attacks that are increasingly more powerful. It won't take long to overcome me and kill me. I should kill it immediately but I can't. Death. It's over. Hyodo Issei. Issei. He did the same thing to me in the future. I know how he feels. So much anger. So much hate. It just doesn't let you think. It's funny. I can understand it because I lived the same thing as him. The difference with me was that I had help to channel my anger. Yes. It was all thanks to Big Red and his training. Without him, my mind would be sunk in madness. Death was preparing to launch another attack. His objective was to finish off Issei once and for all. The energy that gathered in his hand was abysmal. Death. Last words. Hyodo Issei. Issei. I know that you are just another victim of wars and conflict. If peace had been signed in your time, maybe your life and mine would be different. Death. It's too late to think about that. Issei. No. It's not too late. Since your beloved family died, anger and hatred control you, you have stopped thinking clearly. And that is why I am going to save you from that darkness. Death. There is nothing to save. Issei. Yes, there is. At that moment Issei's energy shot into the air quickly. Death opened his eyes shocked by such a scene. Death. How is it possible? Until now your energy has been burning rapidly. You are at the limit. How is it possible that you continue to increase your power more? At that moment a green gem was shown in Issei's hand. It shone with such intensity that it left Death cut off for a moment. Issei. It's time to end this battle. Death. A gem? Do you intend to launch an attack together with the power of that gem? Idiot, don't you see that he surpassed you in power by 4 gems? Your attack will only be inferior to mine. Issei. Then why are you shaking smiles? At that point, Death realized that his body was trembling, as if he were going to lose this act, which left him extremely shocked. Death. How is this possible? Because I'm shaking. I who mastered all magic. I who experimented with my body to make myself more powerful. I who has the supreme power literally attached to my hand. How can I be scared? From one person. At that moment Death further increased the amount of energy he was gathering in his hand. Issei. It seems like it's time. Reg. Mate, the power within you is increasing rapidly, but your body is beginning to suffer the consequences. Issei. I know, this will be the final attack. That's why I can't lower my power for even a second. The energy that both of them were holding in their hands was beginning to crack the artificial dimension. This attack would break the dimension completely. Outside, the others watched the confrontation in shock. Azazel. The concentration of energy of both will break the artificial dimension before they even launch their last attack. Ali. This is bad. If that happened, the explosion that would generate both attacks would take this entire city away. Asara. What are you saying? Ali. At this time, the more energy they gather for their final attack, the more likely it is that the dimension will break because it cannot withstand such energies. Azazel. The problem is that the energies of both are colliding while they are meeting due to the opposite nature of these. Asara. There is nothing we can do. Azazel. You ask the wrong person if you're looking for answers. Asara. Hey. Azazel. I don't know how you created a valid artificial dimension. But you must know more about this than me. Ali. Size. The artificial dimension was made very hastily to the point that it is literally a space with nothing like the dimensional gap. Asara. You mean it's incomplete? Ali. Yes. A complete artificial dimension should be like a mini version of the planet, a space created to fight where the most powerful gather and can let themselves go. Of course, I'm not saying that it wouldn't break, but at least it wouldn't be so weak like this. Azazel. Even Grigori is far from creating something like that. I guess the reason your volley was able to bring or do something like that is because of Issei. Ali. That's right. Asara. Is there a way to reinforce it? Ali. No. At this point, Issei must attack immediately or the entire underworld city will be erased from the map. Asara. Because he is always the one who must bear all the responsibility. Ali. Because he chose it. But Issei and Death. The tension was felt, both of them stared at each other, the smile on Issei's face was shown, his attack was not an attack to kill. On the other hand, Death's anger was taken to the limit when he saw Issei smile, he wanted to kill him as soon as possible. It was then that the energy of both stopped, the wait was over. They both flew quickly with the intention of colliding their attacks. Death. Die once and for all. Hyodo Issei. Fist of Primordial Darkness. Issei. Soul Strike. Death. Issei. The attacks collided, creating a huge explosion and shattering the entire dimension. When the dimension was destroyed, everyone looked surprised at how everything had ended. Death had pierced Issei's body, more specifically his stomach. On the other hand, Issei had his hand placed on Death's head, but only that. Issei had not hurt him, however. Death had stopped, he was speechless. Death. You're why? Issei. From the beginning my plan was that if you were really evil, I would just kill you. But if you really had a reason for doing what you do, then I would try to save you. However, when I heard your story I really wanted to save you. Death. But why? Issei. Because I lived the same as you. I lost my family. And only me was left. Death. But that was my fault. You should have killed me. Maybe you don't want revenge. Issei. If we don't start to forgive and we only think about those bad moments, then there will only be more tragedies. Death. Your blow was not to kill me. Issei. The soul strike was not actually intended to kill you. I used the power of the life gem to calm and cleanse your mind of all the hatred you had inside. Death. You did all that just to calm me down. Issei. With the gems you could have revived your family or traveled back in time to save them. But you preferred to destroy everything instead of seeing them again. Then I understood that your mind was not clear. You kept thinking so negatively that you saw nothing positive even if you had it in front of you. Death. I don't know what to say. There was so much hate in my head. Now everything feels clear. Thank you for saving me, Issei. Issei. It's nothing. Spits blood, but you could remove your arm from my stomach. Death. Sorry, I'm sorry. Issei. Calm down. Don't worry, with the power of the gem I can easily cure myself of this. Death would remove his arm from him, in turn the gem would heal Issei's wound slowly. Issei. How do you feel now? Death. I feel a lot of peace. Issei. Now what are you going to do? After saying those words, the gems would be removed from the skin in Death's hand and he would take them with his other hand. Death. I want to bring back my family. Then I will give you the gems and pay for my actions. Issei. If that is your decision, I respect it. Death. I guess it's a happy ending for everyone. Issei. That's true, now how about we go? But before Issei could finish speaking a voice was heard behind him. Unfortunately I hate happy endings. Death. But you who? Death's words were interrupted, his carelessness was his downfall, the person from whom that voice had come stood behind him, piercing his heart and cutting off his head. Everyone present looked shocked at such a death scene that took place. Death was murdered, but it was not only that shocked them, but the person who had killed him. This person not only shocked Issei, he completely terrified him because it was literally impossible for him to forget her. Issei. No. It can't be. This doesn't make sense. Immediately that person took the gems that Death had and looked at Issei, while a portal opened behind that person. You never disappoint me my dear Issei, I have to go, but I will return for the gem that you have in your possession, since taking it from you now is not ideal. She showed a gem stuck to his hand, it was the black gem of death, she had the last of the 6 gems. After that action he left the place leaving Issei very upset. Issei. That was. Rainer. Chapter 9. Explanations. In the human world the sky was clear and the sun was shining brightly. 5 days had passed since the events that occurred in the underworld, the battle with Death, his death and the appearance of Rainer. Since then Issei had not gone to the academy because he first had to clarify Rainer's situation. So during these 5 days he spent researching about her with Vali and Kuroka to finally come to the conclusion that Rainer was dead, that's what the information said. However she was seen killing Death and taking the gems, she couldn't be dead. At the end of it all, Issei came to only one conclusion, if he wanted to get information from her, it shouldn't be through normal means. Greg. Mate, are you sure about this? Issei. Death I use the gems to know about me, it means that I can use the gem of life to know about Rainer. Albion. Something gives me a bad feeling, but there are no other options. Issei. That's true. Greg. At least be careful mate, so far getting involved with the gems has only caused problems. Issei. I know, but don't forget that this second chance is also for the gems. Albion. Well then let's begin. Issei. Gem of life, show me all the information related to Rainer. The gem began to illuminate the entire room, in the blink of an eye all the information went directly to Issei's head, however it only confirmed that she had died at the hands of Riaz again in this timeline. Issei. Shocked impossible. Greg. How can she be dead if we saw her? Albion. And if we were not specific? Issei. What do you mean? Albion. If she is another person with her appearance or something else. Greg. It's true, we can't rule that out. Issei. Then I will use the gem again, but this time I will be more specific. Greg. Let's hope it works this time. Issei. Gem of life, tell me everything about the Rainer that my eyes witnessed. After those words the gem illuminated the room again with more intensity, after that Issei would see that he had been transported to a kind of blank space. In him his body floated, it was like being in outer space, after that a voice resonated strongly throughout the place. You caused this. Issei. What? Because of you the multiverse has suffered alterations. Issei. Multiverse. You mean there are other universes out there? Yes, beyond this universe there is an infinite network of multiverses. Issei. Incredible. Wait, you said that because of me the multiverse has suffered alterations, right, because that's what it is. When you used the gems and returned to the past, you caused a great fluctuation in space-time that not only affected this universe, but also affected the others. As an extra consequence, more universes are created as we speak. Issei. What? Originally there were 12 universes and 12 dimensions, but that changed, the number of universes increased and continues to increase, fortunately the number of dimensions remains the same. Issei. I didn't know anything about that, I thought it could only be changes in my timeline. I didn't think it would cause changes in the other universes. I didn't even know that there were more universes than mine. I suppose that's true, however the consequences of your actions have already been shown, haven't they? Issei. Consequences. Rainer, how is it possible that Rainer is alive? Because that Rainer comes from another universe. Issei. Shocked that. Then that explains why I couldn't get information from her. But what is she doing here, and why does she have the death gem? When you went back in time you scattered the gems around the world, but one gem was sent to another universe, it fell into one of the 12 dimensions of that universe, it ended up by accident inside a powerful object called Pandora's box, where it remained sealed and kept along with the evils of the world that box contained, until a goddess from that dimension opened the box because another you ruined her plans. Issei. Another me? Maybe there are versions of me in other universes. I will show you the whole truth of what happened. Issei. This is it. At that moment images and information of all the events in the multiverse began to appear inside Issei's head. Issei Ghost of Sparta, at Naiaya. Issei Infamous, you asked for it, but don't even think you have a chance because now, I am the beast. Issei Demon Hunter, yes this is how I became a demon hunter, and I will keep my promise. I will hunt them all. Issei Ghoul, looks like now it's my turn smiles. Issei Werewolf, the moon is beautiful tonight, to make it more beautiful we are going to stain the ground red, now the hunting begins. Sometimes you are the hunter and other times you are the prey. Chief Soldier. Turns back slowly, who are you? Hyodo Issei. If you have courage problems and don't know how to move forward, just think about what he did. Once everything was over, Issei breathed heavily, his face was pale, all the information and images at once in his head left him restless, added to the fact that all those events and changes in the lives of the other versions of him were his fault. Issei. But what did I do? You changed their lives, their destinies, and you may have even altered more versions of yourself. Issei. But everything that happened in the multiverse feels like it happened a long time ago. It is because time in the universes varies, on special occasions time becomes desynchronized and given those cases, well a year passed here in another universe 1,000 years could have passed. Issei. So actually it may seem to me that it happened a long time ago, but to my other versions it happened recently. Correct, added to the fact that time in your universe paralyzed. Issei. Shocked what? That's right. When the crisis of the universes occurred, yours was briefly paralyzed until the crisis ended. Issei. Geez. In any case you have already seen the whole truth and you know who that Rainer is. Issei. Yes, Rainer was revived thanks to the death gem. Although her personality has been disrupted in the resuscitation process, if we consider that before she was someone ruthless and heartless, now she can be much worse. Issei. And 5 of the 6 gems are in his possession. Correct, it is an imminent disaster. Issei. One more thing. You are the voice that speaks to me and has shown me the whole truth. But you are. Perhaps you are the gem of life. No. But let's say you got a little closer. Either way you'll find out soon. At that moment everything returned to normal. Issei was back in the real world. He had come out of that blank space with all the information she needed. Reg. What are you going to do now, mate? Issei. It's hard to know. Honestly, for now I can only wait for Rainer to make the first move. Albion. Why don't you use the gem of life to find it? Issei. I thought about that. But she has 5 gems in her possession, a single gem won't be able to help me find her. Reg. It's a shame. We can certainly only hope. Issei. I will be ready for anything I do. For now I will rest a little, but not before doing one thing. At that moment Issei grabbed a phone that was in her room and began to dial a number. The phone was answered instantly by Riaz. Issei had called the occult club. Issei quickly asked to be loud, to say a few words. Riaz. You're out loud, Issei. Issei. In the previous battle everything that was said was true. My full name is Hyodo Issei. Isara, you are my sister. At that moment the club room was silent. As for Isara, she had mixed feelings. She didn't even know what to say. Riaz. Issei, about that, how is it possible that you are? Riaz's words were interrupted by Issei, who spoke one last time on the phone. Issei. I will tell everyone the truth about who I am tomorrow. I will wait for you here in my apartment in the afternoon. After that she hung up the phone calmly. The club members looked at each other, determined to go tomorrow to talk to Issei. Chapter 10. Sincere Truth. It was a new day and Issei was preparing to receive the guests. Regarding the issue of revealing the whole truth, he was very serious. Reg. Mate, do you think this is a good idea? Issei. Since what happened with Kakabiel and the battle with death, I can no longer expect them to act as I want. Possibly the timeline will deviate a lot if I don't explain the situation. Albion. That is true, until now everything has continued according to the original timeline, but thanks to what happened with death, it is possible that they take another path, and that is what we do not want. Reg. If they take another path that we don't know about, we couldn't even imagine the impact of their actions on the timeline. Issei. That's right, there could be new problems or his growth could be cut off. Honestly, I know that everything will be different, but we have to keep the changes to a minimum, as far as possible. Reg. That's why you plan to give them back their memories. Issei. Yes. Originally I planned for the club members not to know anything about the future I come from, but the situation has given me no other choice. At that moment a cat with 2 tails would enter through the window. Issei. Kuroka, is that you? Kuroka. Yes, I have been here listening to your conversation with the 2 celestial dragons, Naya. Issei. I see, and what do you think about it? Kuroka. I think you don't have any more options. Or well, you do, but you wouldn't like to use those options unless it's extremely necessary, Naya. Issei. What you say is correct, but how do you know that I have other options and that I would not like to use them? Kuroka. It's not obvious, I know, because you have a gem in your possession, Naya. Issei. I see. Kuroka. Also, if you have those gems, it should be easy to mess with their heads, but that's something Issei doesn't want, right, Naya? Issei. You know me very well, by the way, because you are in your yokai form. Kuroka. Well, right now in the original timeline I had nothing to do, so I came to spend time with you, Naya. Issei. And how did you find out about this whole situation? Well, I have been lying occasionally on the tree that is near the window of your apartment since yesterday, Naya. Issei. Wait, you mean that the free time you had in the original timeline, instead of spending it resting where you did, you now spend it in front of my window? Kuroka. This is how I find out more about my dear husband's life, Naya. Issei. Sighs, and if you knew about the situation I'm in, how did you expect me to be able to spend time with you? Hiroka. But this situation won't take all your time, right, so we can go out on a date when you talk about all this with the girls. Naya. Issei. Even with your memories of the future you are still the same carefree Nekomata as always. Hiroka. Why change? Naya. Reg. Colleague detected multiple presences, it's probably them. Issei. It seems that the visitors have arrived. Hiroka. I'll go to your room, I'll come when everything is over. Naya. After saying those words in her cat form, she went straight to Issei's room to lie down peacefully on his bed. Albion. Leaving it aside, how do you plan to proceed? Issei. Issei. I'm not one to drag things out, so I'll use a direct approach. At that point the Gremory group would arrive, passing through the door calmly. Kaneko upon arriving was very restless, she felt a very familiar energy, but she did not have the right to check a foreign apartment, added to the fact that she knew Issei's strength and did not believe that he would even had the opportunity to lift a finger. Rias. I see that you prepared coffee for our visit, I appreciate it. Issei. There is nothing to thank, I invited you after all, feel at home. Everyone would sit around a small table with cups of coffee. Issei looked at Kaneko, who was a little uneasy, then he thought that possibly she had felt some of Kuroka's energy, so he preferred not to mention any of that now. After all he didn't I knew how they would react in these moments, that they did not have their memories. If I told them that an SS class criminal wanted in the underworld was in their room, in the end the silence was broken by Isara. Isara. Issei. You are my brother. You really are. After a long sip of coffee, Issei would respond. Issei. Yes, I am your brother. Isara. How is that possible? Issei. Because I come from the future. At that response everyone was shocked, they did not believe that was possible, however they knew that Issei would not say something so crazy lightly. Rias. If that's true, it would explain a lot of things, like why you help us. Issei. I will say this in summary, in the future death that person with whom you saw me fight destroyed everything with the power of 6 gems, I suppose you already saw firsthand how far the power range of those gems goes. Isara. The green gem that you have is one of those 6. Issei. That's right, it is called the green gem of life, each gem is powerful and can give you everything you want just by wishing for it. Of course the more gems you have in your possession, the greater what they can give you. After Issei's explanation everyone was speechless, however his explanation was clear and they immediately understood the power of those gems, so it was not difficult to deduce how he traveled to the past. Rias. You used the gems to go back to the past and prevent the destruction of everything. Issei. Correct, but traveling in time has a price, it causes fluctuations in space-time, they not only affect our universe, but the other universes. Isara. Wait, other universes? Are you saying that there are more universes? Issei. That's right. In those universes there are versions of us, some may be different in a certain way. When he said that, a silence filled the conversation, no one knew what to say. Rias. This is too much information to process. Issei. I know, it can be difficult to understand. Kiba. Issei, you said that you caused fluctuations in space-time, that means that traveling in time brought changes and consequences, right? Issei. Yes. Kiba. Like which ones? Issei. Among the changes I am. My birth did not happen. But my sisters did. Isara. Shocked 2 years before. You're the baby that mom lost, right? Issei. Yes. Isara. That means that before traveling in time I did not exist. Issei. That's right, however I'm happy to know that I have a sister and to be able to meet her. Isara. Issei. Issei would give Isara a warm hug and she would accept it without resistance, she couldn't help but shed tears at his words. Kiba. One more thing Issei, the fact that you have the target means that the original bearer is dead. Issei. Yes. The volley of my timeline was given to me before he died. Kiba. I understand. Rias. Although Isara is your sister, it is not because of her that you have been helping us, right? Issei. Yes. Rias. May I ask what your relationship is with all of us? Issei. Well, I think that would be easier to show than to talk. After saying that, he extended his hand and began to return the memories to all the members of the club. Isara admired in amazement how a beautiful light enveloped her companions. The girls were with their eyes closed, in a moment all the memories filled their heads. Painful, good, bad, sad, happy, etc. At that the tears were released, the girls could not contain themselves, they were all crying, the reason was simple, they had recovered the memories of the timeline in which she and her children died, those who were in the womb, and those who were already dead. Were born. After that Issei comforted the girls for a long time, by the time he finished everything was calmer. Issei. Now I ask you to be careful, I don't know what changes I will have produced in our universe, so you must be careful not to change the timeline too much. Rias. We understand. And you still have something to take care of, right? Issei. Yes. Rainer is still free and with 5 of the 6 gems. Kiba. She's not the Rainer we know, right? Issei. No. She comes from another universe. She honestly doesn't know how she is going to act, so I beg everyone to be careful. Asara. I wish I could help you. But the power granted by training takes time. Hiba. It's not just the Asara training, weapons, evil piece modifications, everything that made us stronger in the future, we must wait for it to arrive, honestly the process is slower than you think. Issei. That's true. Hineko. By the way. Issei-senpai, my sister is at your house. Issei. Yes. I wanted to tell you, but I thought it would be better when you will recover your memories. Hineko. I understand, can I go talk to her? Issei. About that. At that Kuroka would leave Issei's room, this time in her human form and not as a cat. Kuroka. You already gave them back their memories Naya. Issei. Yes. Kuroka. Then we can both go out on a date Naya. Issei. Certainly some things don't change. Chapter 11. Rest. In a restaurant, Issei was eating with Kuroka quietly. Kuroka. This is delicious Naya. Issei. I agree with that. Kuroka. In the end we did have our date. Issei. About that, I am surprised by how carefree you are about the situation of the current you, since you are a wanted criminal. Kuroka. Why not be, you returned the memories to the members of the Grimmery clan, now I can walk the streets and they will not say or report anything about me Naya. Issei. Just don't do something crazy. Kuroka. You sound like Shirin right now Naya. Issei. That reminds me that before we left for our date you talked to Kaneko, what exactly did you talk about? Kuroka. I scold myself for my carefree attitude and careless behavior. Issei. It was expected. Kuroka. I expected him to say something nice about me, but he scolded me for going on a date with Issei, without taking into account my current situation. My sister's attitude is very unfair Naya. Issei. In fact, he seems very responsible to me and he is very right. Kuroka. Don't take her side or her. Issei. Okay, calm down. Kuroka. Well, then let's continue enjoying the food Naya. Issei. Sighs ha. At that Issei would stare at Kuroka briefly. Kuroka. Is something wrong? Why do you keep looking at me? Issei. I just admired how beautiful you are. Kuroka. Blushes you are really someone very clever Issei Naya. After finishing eating, they both walked through the park, talking about common topics, as well as important ones. Issei. Kuroka, how are things going in the Cows Brigade? Kuroka. Things stay the same, I won't say there are no changes, but so far everything is going normally. Issei. I have been mentioned in the Cows Brigade. Kuroka. Only as Mr. Mystery. Issei. Is there anything important to highlight about that? Kuroka. The higher-ups of the Cows Brigade are investigating you, but they can't get any information. They want to know if they can bring you to their side. Issei. They are crazy if they think they can achieve that. Kuroka. I agree with that, even if they knew your identity there would be nothing to look for from you. Issei. That's true, but it's better that they don't know, after all I won't be able to keep my school life calm. Kuroka. That's true. Issei. Either way for the current me to beat them is easy. Kuroka. By the way, Issei, how strong is your current one? Issei. Well in the future I was in the top 10 of the most powerful, however when everything was destroyed, I did not return to the past immediately, but I trained with the Great Red before returning to raise my power. Kuroka. I know you are strong, but that strength seems to have multiplied monstrously, the Issei of my memories before I died does not compare to you. Issei. I certainly think I have become very strong. Kuroka. Do you think you can beat the Big Red Naya? Issei. I don't know that. Kuroka. Then comparing yourself to the gems, how strong do you think you are? Issei. If you use gems to measure my power then I am no match. Kuroka. That was a very quick answer Naya. Issei. The gems are objects of absolute power, nothing in this universe or the multiverse compares to their power, they can do anything. If the 6 gems were used to kill, not even Officer the Great Red would have a chance to get out alive. Kuroka. I really forgot that despite their small appearance they are very dangerous Naya. Issei. Yes. That is why I must prevent Rainer from obtaining the 6 gems at any cost, that is why I always carry the gem of life with me. Kuroka. By the way, what is the origin of those gems? They must come from somewhere, right? Issei. Well we never managed to find out their origin. However we came to the conclusion that they do not belong to this universe. Kuroka. Do you think they come from the multiverse Naya? Issei. No. Something like that. It must come from a different place. In fact when I slept near the gems in the future I sometimes had strange dreams. Kuroka. What kind of dreams Naya? Issei. Well it's hard to explain. It didn't make much sense to me. Sometimes it was a blank space, other times it was an eye. Kuroka. An eye? Issei. Yes, it was a very beautiful golden eye, just seeing it made me feel like my existence was shaking. After remembering that, Issei's body suddenly trembled slightly, he felt as if something was watching him. Kuroka. Is something wrong? Issei. No, nothing, just a little chills when I remember that, but anyway those dreams didn't make any sense to me, so I thought that the gems were influencing my dreams. Hiroka. I guess that would be the only logical explanation so far. Naya. Issei. Certainly. Hiroka. By the way, you already planned what you're going to do with the gems when you get them back. Naya. Issei. No, not yet, honestly I'll have to find a place to hide them where they won't affect nature while I think about what to do with them. Hiroka. I thought you would destroy them by having them all in your possession. Issei. Don't say something like that so carelessly. I don't ever want to choose that option. If the gems are destroyed maybe they could destroy the entire planet. Hiroka. Shocked, that's just a true assumption. Issei. As I said before, the gems can do anything when they are all together. Their destruction, of course, could threaten the entire planet, no wonder. Hiroka. Then I guess they will stay protected somewhere until you decide what to do with them. Naya. Issei. Yes. Although most likely I would put them in an unreachable place and leave them there for all eternity, that way their threat would be eliminated. Hiroka. However, those types of objects could also help you. Naya. Issei. That's true, but I don't want to be too greedy, as the saying goes, greed breaks the bag. They would continue with their date normally, they would even go to a hotel to be intimate together as night fell and end their date. The next day they both woke up in the morning hugging each other naked and saw the girls from the occult club furious in front of their bed, which led to a classic situation of arguments and laughter. 3 hours later, Issei could be seen sitting on a park bench while he admired his surroundings. Issei. Sighs, the day seems very calm. Reg. Certainly. Albion. By the way, Issei. Issei. Yes, Albion. There's something I've been meaning to ask you. Issei. Go ahead, tell me. Albion. That time Rainer appeared in front of us because he didn't directly take the gem from you. Issei. I have a theory about that. That time she said that taking the gem away from me now was not ideal. My theory is that she has not completely mastered the power of the gem she has. She may not even know how to control the powers she has yet. Gives you the gem. Reg. But she had 5 gems in her possession when she snatched them from death. Issei. That is correct, but if she still cannot control well the powers that her gem provides her, she will at least be able to control the powers of the 5 gems in her power. Albion. I see, then it is understandable that she retreated instead of starting a fight. Reg. If she fought there was no guarantee she could win against you, mate. Issei. Right, maybe I was weak, but I know how to control the power of the gem I have, while having more gems has much more power, however there is no guarantee that she will win with only pure power and zero control over it. Can. Albion. But now you are the one who has no guarantee of winning. Reg. Albion is right now she may be learning to better control the power of the gems, she may even already be able to control the power of the 5 gems. Albion. If that's the case you could lose. This is not an opponent you can reason with like death, those tricks will be useless. Issei. I know, that's why I must be attentive to the appearance of Rainer. Rainer. But how nice that you talk about me, my dear Issei. At that moment Issei turned her face as fast as she could, the sweat on her forehead was noticeable, and her face immediately turned pale when she saw Rainer next to him. Issei. Shocked Rainer. Issei quickly jumped back from her, taking distance from her, then took out her sacred gear, preparing to fight. Rainer. If you want you can call me Yuma, like you used to do before she killed you. Smiles. Issei. That will never happen, plus I know that you are a Rainer from another universe. Rainer. No wonder, you have a gem after all, it's normal that you knew about me. Issei. Unfortunately today you will die. Rainer. Because I see so much hatred in your eyes, dear Issei. Issei. You know why you are a heartless bitch. Rainer. Possibly, but I will make every Issei in every universe mine. Issei. I guess with those words the conversation ends. Rainer. Come on my cute Issei, join me. Issei. First dead. Rainer. The gems are now in my possession, life and death are not a problem. At that moment it would be shown that 5 gems were stuck in Rainer's skin, more specifically her entire right arm. Issei. This is not going to be easy. Rainer. Now let's have fun Issei, like we used to do. Chapter 12. The worst of ex-girlfriends. The tension was felt in the atmosphere. Issei was worried because fighting in a civilian area was not the best, in the worst case both would destroy the city. Rainer. Don't worry, I don't want anyone to interrupt us. In that instant a powerful dimensional field was created, reality was replaced by a false one. Issei. She has become very powerful. Rainer. Now entertain me. Issei. With pleasure. He quickly appeared behind her to kick her, but she stopped him with her hand. Rainer. You are very slow my dear Issei. Issei. You believe. At that moment he would appear in front of her to hit her in the face, and the Issei that he had holding on to her would vanish, implying that it was a decoy made with magic. Rainer. Crucifix of spears. At that moment multiple spears stab Issei's arms and legs. Issei. I have to destroy the spears. Divide 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 dividing. Rainer. The gems give me great power, added to the fact that she perfectly controlled the power of the 5 gems, you have no chance. Issei. We'll see about that dragon shot. Quickly a large energy shot went straight to Rainer, however she only smiled. Rainer. I will show you the power I possess now, dark hole. After saying those words, a huge explosion was generated, destroying the entire place. Issei. Rainer. Do you want to continue? The situation kept getting worse, and Issei couldn't find a way to deal with it, but she still kept getting up. Issei. Spits blood. Shit, what she said is true. Drag, can't we use the dual celestial dragon mode? Drag. Impossible, that mode consumes a lot of energy and puts a lot of pressure on your body, even with the healing of the life gem, you still pay the consequences of the battle with death. Issei. I'm in a bad position, she's literally sweeping the floor with me. Greg. We have to manage as we are. Albion. Trying to split her power when she has the gems in her power is useless, but I can split the power of her energy attacks. Issei. That could be useful, I will approach him when he lowers his guard and I will hit him with all my strength. Rainer. You finished because I won't stop. In that instant thousands of spears of light were created and launched towards Issei. Issei. Damn. Issei quickly began to dodge the energy spears while she divided the power of these until they vanished, but there were so many that some impacted his body. Rainer. Surrender my dear Issei, give me the gem gently please. Issei. No. Rainer. Fine if you wanted perpetual darkness. After shouting those words everything turned black and Issei couldn't see anything. Issei. But what is this? Rainer. Dark spear. Issei. Rainer was stabbing Issei in the dark, but he couldn't see anything, he was being riddled by his attacks in the dark. Rainer. It's over. Unfortunately it's time to finish playing. Issei. True. This must end. Rainer. Don't worry, I won't kill you, after all you will be mine when this battle ends. Issei. You want the gem of life, don't you? Rainer. I see that you finally cooperated. Issei. Yes. Take this. At that moment Issei used the life gem to generate a large amount of energy in the palm of his hand, followed by amplifying the power of the energy with drag, the power was such that he was cracking his hand. Rainer. Ha. What are you planning to do with that great amount of power in your hand, otherwise you can't even see me to hit me, you're just self-destructing. But she didn't realize until she had Issei in front of her that the distance between the two had been greatly shortened to the point that it was too late to dodge the blow. Rainer. But how? Issei. Dragon senses are very sensitive, damn crazy. Rainer tried to cover herself, however when the blow came into contact with her skin, her left arm was deformed and then flew into pieces. Issei would have destroyed her right arm with that attack, in turn she had regained her visibility, a sign that Rainer would have deactivated the ability that turned everything black because of the pain she felt. Rainer. Issei. Exhales sharply, you were too trusting, that was your mistake. Issei expected to see an angry reaction from Rainer to laugh, but on the contrary what she saw, she left him speechless. Rainer. Love that hurts, love that hurts, love that hurts. Issei. Shocked, what the hell is wrong with him? Rainer. Love, you hurt me a lot, you think I don't feel pain, our relationship is that I hurt you, not you hurt me. Issei looked at the scene with terror, even showing a smile of pleasure, her eyes overflowing with madness. Rainer. But I still love you, you are mine from no one else, mine. Issei. What is this? Rainer would regenerate her arm after saying those words. Issei. She is completely crazy. Rainer. Being crazy in love is bad. Issei. I have to take those gems from her and kill her as soon as possible. But after saying that, Rainer appeared in front of him and hit him, making him spit blood. Issei. She's faster. Rainer. Dear, give me the gem. Issei. Not crazy. Rainer. If you don't cooperate then. I should go after the girls you are unfaithful to me with. Issei. Angry, if I had several ex-girlfriends you would by far be the worst of all. Rainer. Dear, your words hurt me, don't you know that it is very bad to treat your girlfriend like that? Issei. Shut up, my girlfriend is Ria's. At that moment a silence was felt, Rainer's face was deformed, she was upset. Rainer. Ria's, she's always that bitch getting away from me, I must kill her. Issei. Don't even think about it. Booster. Issei tried to hit her, but Rainer was faster and grabbed his hand. Issei. Let go of me. Rainer. Don't try to resist, I'll take the gem you have in your hand. Issei tried to resist her, but with her strength, she opened Issei's hand showing the gem. Issei. Shit, everything will have been in vain if she gets the last gem. Rainer. With this we will be together. Issei. I must think fast. Rainer. Finally my wish will come true. Issei. Wait, she wouldn't be able to fulfill her plans if the gems aren't in their maximum condition, but I could still cancel that wish if the gems have all their energy. Unless I spend all that energy first, that's it. At that moment the 6 gems shone brightly. Rainer. But what are you doing, Issei? Ruining your plans. At that moment a light occurs followed by a large explosion that destroys the entire field created by Rainer. 8 hours later, Issei wakes up slowly. Where am I? My body hurts. Riaz. Issei. Riaz. Where am I? Riaz. You are in the occult club. When we went to check a great source of power we found you lying on the street. Was it you? Issei. No. Rainer appeared. But those laughing words, he quickly understood the situation. Riaz. He came for the gem, right? Issei. Yes. Added to the fact that with all of them in his power, he will have all the Issei of the multiverse in the palm of his hand. That includes me. Riaz. You won, right? Issei. No. She got what she wanted. She has all the gems. Riaz. Then because nothing has changed. Issei. I played a trick on her. That trick will give me enough time to go after her. I'll get going after resting for 2 days. Riaz. But your wounds need more than 2 days. Issei. Asia will be able to heal my physical wounds. As for my energy during these 2 days, I will stabilize and replenish it. I will need to be in optimal condition quickly. Riaz. You managed to fatally wound Rainer. Issei. Not exactly. But something good for everyone is that she is no longer in this universe. Riaz. What are you talking about? Issei. As we know, she is not the Rainer of our universe, so if she is no longer here there is only one place where she can be. Riaz. The universe where she came from. Issei. Exactly, but we have another problem. Riaz. Which one? Issei. In my battle after the explosion, since I was injured, I used the gems and brought with me some people who are not from this universe. They are like copies of the enemies that each version of me faced in their universe, but I don't know if I would tell them. Do you copy? Riaz. Why not? Issei. A copy would not be on par with the original, but we are talking about gems. Those copies have the power of their original self. They serve him loyally. It is almost crazy. Riaz. How do you know that they are copies of the enemies of your other versions? Issei. I used the gems before, and I saw everything that had happened in the multiverse. Not only was it the current present, it was also the entire past of my versions, since their birth. Riaz. I see. Issei. One of the copies attacked me, probably because of it I lost consciousness, however that copy was not from an enemy. Riaz. What? Issei. Apparently it is the copy of the father of one of my versions. Riaz. I suppose one of your versions doesn't have a normal family, but do you know her name? Issei. Yes, her name is Virgil. 2 days later, Issei had fully recovered and it was time to leave. Issei. I can use the dual celestial dragon mode again, this time I will go all out. Riaz. Issei, how would you face the copies of the enemies of your other versions and Rainer? Added to the fact that she has all the gems in her possession, you will need help. Issei. I certainly can't go against so many enemies and her alone, it would basically be suicide. Riaz. Then what are you going to do? Issei. The gem of life showed me that my versions from other universes came together to stop a crisis in the multiverse, and it's time for them to reunite again, but this time we will fight a war. Riaz. Shocked. That means that. Issei. That's right, I'm going to reunite my other versions again. By the way, it should already be arriving. Riaz. Who? Issei. I told you I played a trick on. Rainer smiles. At that moment a portal opens showing the shadow of a person. Ria's eyes opened wide when she saw it. She was shocked to see the boy. Issei. You're late. I'm sorry, it's just that when I woke up I was very tired. Riaz. Issei. That is. Issei. That's right. Smiles. Riaz. Smiles. It's good to know that you will have help. Issei would approach the mysterious person to leave the place. Detect Rainer's energy nearby. It is very powerful. Are you sure you weakened it? Issei. I wish the gem's own energy was finite, so they no longer have the infinite power of the gems. But she can cancel that wish if the gems recover all the lost energy and return to maximum power. Issei. That's right, but to protect herself she created copies of our enemies, spending more energy, so our priority is to kill her before the energy of the gems reaches the limit again. How much time do we have? Issei. Enough to locate her on the way and at the same time ask for help from our versions. You played a great trick on him. Issei. Before I used the gems to create those copies, I used them to revive you by spending most of the energy. Was it improvised or did you have it planned? Issei. In fact, I partially improvised. I think it was the right thing to do, because of my actions of going back to the past you lost your life. I'm sorry for the problems it caused you. Don't worry about that, I understand your situation. I also do crazy things for the people I love, and you will also give me my revenge against that damn thing. Issei. Here we go. Humarella. The two would approach the portal to leave. Before crossing the portal completely you can clearly see the symbol of an eagle on the mysterious boy's jacket. Arc 1. The hero who returned in time. Chapter 13. True beginning. Arc 2 starts. My name is Hyodo Issei. I was the Sekiryu. The Red Emperor was the hero that all the children admired. But one day out of nowhere someone named Death used some powerful gems. And he destroyed everything he loved. There were only two existences left in that world, the XD and me, preparing to return everything to how it was before I decided to use the same gems that extinguished everything for their salvation. But the gems were dry, being able to annihilate all life left them very dry, and soon they would not be usable. That's when I decided to use them with the little power they had. It was a risky bet. I went back in time, back to the beginning of my life in the supernatural world, but things didn't go as planned. Going back in time caused a fluctuation in which not only the universe, but the multiverse changed. Events that should not happen to me from other universes happened to them, but in my universe the events were. My birth never happened, my sister did live and I was forgotten by the world. I am a being that should not exist but exists. I am someone from a lost time. Am I a paradox? I don't know if it said like that. The truth is I don't care. I spent all that time looking for Death. I did it to kill him. On my way I found the gems while hiding my identity from the girls. In the end he revealed to them who he was and who he was when he appeared. Death, we finally saw each other face to face. I understood his motives and convinced him to stop this madness, but who least expected it came back from the dead. Rainer was resurrected with a death gem that was in Pandora's box of a self from another universe. The evils of the world escaped and entered another self from another universe. Being controlled by Athena, he committed bad deeds, but Athena was just someone else's toy. Rainer appeared, the death gem had revived her, and with it she planned to control the self of that universe. And revived in flesh and blood the others fraud and believed they had stopped his resurrection. But they were wrong, the self of that universe sacrificed her life to avoid a resurrection, however he did it in the same way. Then when everyone was leaving, she captured the god-killer ghost of Sparta and kept him prisoner all this time. Then she appeared before me, the gems showed me the truth of my actions and I revealed to everyone who I am. Hyodo Issei, the Red Emperor, and also Hakuryuku, the White One, since Vali gave it to me before he died. Rainer and I battled, but it was useless. She took the gem of life from me, but I spent her energy reviving the self that had died in that crisis. The driver, Smoke. But she made clones or copies identical to the original in power and everything of each of the enemies that the selves from other universes have faced. Virgil, Rill, Jason, Cole, Black, etc. Then I prepared to travel to other universes to seek help. I went for each of the selves from other universes. And when we arrive at the place of war, we free the ghost of Sparta who was imprisoned, and all of us fight our ancient enemies. We beat every one of them. Rainer was finally on her last legs and was getting ready to do something. But Black, the evil driver, one of us stopped her and destroyed her gem, dying with her. But not before she left us a huge problem. 666, Trihixa. We had no energy. So we used the remaining gems to finish off that beast and destroyed them. The gem's own consciousness told us, but there would be consequences. Each of us, after destroying the gems and winning, returned to our respective universes. But the portals that connected the universes disappeared. No one will be able to access another universe or the metaverse where all the universes originate, since by using the gems I removed the barrier that stopped the creation of more universes, and now there are more universes. That is why there are now infinite universes being created. Issei. Yonha. What a dream. Greg. You'll be late for school. Issei. Yes. Yes. Albion. By the way, you can't return the girl's memories. Issei. Sigh, that's not a good idea. Events before Riser would be deleted. That was the consequence of destroying the gems. In other words, every event from when I returned their memories, it was revealed that I am Isara's brother and previous to my true identity. It never happened. Reg. Sure. Issei. On the good side, they would remember everything. We could return to the family we were, but what changes could that bring? They remember the match against Sona, the attack on the faction meeting. Albion. Isn't that good? Issei. True, they could prevent all those events, but it would impede their progress. Remember, Drake, we progress under non-normal circumstances. If I give them back their memories, they will surely be able to plan things better, which is fine, but they won't be able to get stronger through combat experience. Giving my friends back their memories is a stuff. The experience in combat is different. It is not only in memories, you have to live it. The fear of knowing that if you blink you will die. The feeling of helplessness that you feel at that moment, and that you know that you have to become stronger. Albion. It's understandable, but then why did you return them to Vali and Kuroka again? Issei. Vali is Vali, that unfortunate man. You must know him very well. In these times, he is where he fights and fights the most. Honestly, he does not lack experience. Rather, giving him back his memories will make him stronger and evolve to where he was in those times. For Kuroka, who travel with him, it's the same. Greg. I feel you are more mature, mate. Issei. Considering that the years help maturity. I simply think about the well-being of my companions as I always have. Albion. It is wise, you prioritize their strength so that they protect themselves over your immediate happiness. Issei. Yes, well, it's not like I won't give you back your memories using transfer. I can connect you to my mind and let you see our memories whenever I want, but like I said, not now. Albion. But he asked me. Issei. Albion. What would be our role at this time? Isara is your sister and she represents the Red Dragon. Volley will avoid raising suspicions to the Chaos Brigade in Kuroka, so what do we have left? Issei. Sigh, we could certainly live relaxed, but I never said I wasn't going to intervene. Reg. Haha, how did I guess then what we're going to do, mate? Issei. My presence here could have changed things, so I will intervene if things happen that I shouldn't have seen or that caused the fluctuation in time. I also think I will make life difficult for the villains. There are no more gems, but there are people. I don't want to know if the fluctuation could have done something to a bad person and made them even more dangerous. Albion. Issei, as for the Gremory, they suspect you. You remember, Riaz thinks you are Mr. Mystery. Issei. Without words, without proof they will not act rashly. Reg. But what happened with the events of Kakabia and the first meeting of factions, you intervened there. To a large extent. Issei. The gems told me, every event about me would be erased, in other words every moment where I revealed my face or identity must have been tinted or erased like a white line in their minds, they just have to remember about the armor, and now we know what will happen at the faction meeting, but this time with the Nordics, in fact it must already be taking place. Albion. Convenient in our favor. Issei. One more thing, Isara is not like me. So. I will also intervene if they are going to kill her or anyone. Reg. The events so far, if we remove the death ones, are normal and as would have happened in the original story. Issei. For now it is becoming difficult to want to use my power. Reg. It's not like before that if you wanted to train you used it and that's it, now they would go crazy if you took out 100% of your power. Issei. That's the bad thing. I'll have to go to the underworld, its facilities are made for that and no external energy comes out. Albion. If we talk about normal facilities in your case and Volley they were special. Issei. Sigh, what do I do? To get those facilities I need to be a high-class demon. Albion. In your time you were class equal to the demon kings, now you don't even have class. Reg. Wait a moment, Albion, by chance, my friend, you still have Ria's evil pieces on your body. Issei. Of course, how can you be in the same time and place without affecting anything? Reg. Then what about your evil piece? Issei. Shocked, right? He would extend his hand and white chess pieces would appear floating above him. Albion. You brought them with you all the time. Issei. When death murdered everyone who was part of my entourage, I kept them in my sacred gear as memories of my comrades and family to avenge. Reg. Partner, it may be difficult, but you are currently a humanoid dragon, but technically you have the Ria's pieces, therefore in hell you are considered a demon because of the energy they give off. Issei. Well, it's true, although when my body was destroyed by Samuel's curse and I became a dragon, I continued to receive the same treatment depending on my rank, although Riaz explained to everyone, then I will continue to be classified with the same underworld system, despite not be a demon. Albion. But if you use the energy of the pieces you will pass as a demon. Issei. What are you thinking? Reg. If we can at least get into what it is like to be a low-class demon, we could ascend to high class, and you could have an entourage. Issei. Expands eyes. I could recruit my entourage, gain fame and prestige, I would have the facilities to train. Reg. You understand now. Albion. But it will not be easy to be a low-class demon, a record of the demons in the underworld must be kept, if Issei does not appear, there will be suspicions. Reg. That's why we have to find someone to introduce you to the system. Issei. I already have someone in mind, my old sensei. It seems that the meeting will be good for me. Albion. Then it seems that we already have a goal. Reg. Let's have fun. Issei. Smiled, guys, we will break the underworld system when we enter, you know it, don't you? Albion. We are dragons, therefore power is our way of proving worth, and we are both with you. Issei. Then let's go there. My name is Hyodo Issei. I'm a perverted boy. Go back to the past and now I'll try to advance to the top again. Whether it's heaven or hell I'll ascend. After all, I am the hero of the factions. So watch everyone, my rise to the top again. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.